couple things I forgot to mention in the video. If you want to skip to a certain timeline, so you want to go like, all right, when does he talk about Chopper, right? You can go in the timestamps and skip to when I talk about A characters, and then you know that I'm going to talk from the worst one to the best one, and that's how you know my thoughts on that character, right? So just go to the timestamp, go to A or go to S, and you can see when I talk about these units. If I'm talking about Cavendish, just skip ahead. If I'm Katakuri, just skip ahead until I talk about Chopper. That way I'm not wasting your time. You can just listen to the characters you're interested about and stuff like that. So my goal with this tier list is to inform you guys, but also not waste your time. That's why I decided to already have the tier list pre-made for the bottom tier, so I don't waste a lot of your time. And I hope I was able to succeed in doing that, and hopefully this was a good tier list. So shout out to him. So that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed. Or this was not the end of the video. Enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? My name is Nadim, and today we're going to talk about attackers in One Piece Bounty Rush. I'll do a tier list on defenders and runners before the 2.5 year anni, but this one's going to be focused on attackers. So if you're new to the game, you probably want to reroll for characters in S or SS, because they're going to be the best attackers in the game. The top tier characters in A are also very, very decent to reroll for, but the way you should look at it is P are characters that are completely unusable. Now, someone like Chopper is a good support, so keep that in mind. If you care about support step-ups, well, I have a video on that. You can click on the card there, but everything else, or the card should be around here, around my face. But D characters are pretty bad. You can't use them. You'll struggle a lot using them. Characters in C are a bit better than that, so you might have more success. They're kind of usable in some ways, but very hard to use. The characters in B are decent. You can even in SS use them and have some success. Not most games, but some games. Characters in A are good. These characters, the bottom ones are good, the top ones are great, and you can have good time even in SS, even in the higher SS. They're not the best choices, but they're very solid. Then we're going to go more in depth on the S tier characters and the SS tier characters as I place them. But if you're re-rolling or if you're new, just keep in mind that SS and S are the best characters in the game by far. Now, because it's a forgive and relief tier list, I want to make sure that it's very, very accurate. So if you guys have a disagreement with me, do let me know. But also, this is pretty much correct, right? If you think Bullet deserves to be an A, or if you think Cavendish deserves to be an A, or Buggy should go down to B, that's completely fine. But just, there's not going to be anything major besides those. And I got the help of Happy. Now, Happy, or Lucci OPBR, check him out. He does very, very interesting videos, very different videos, but he also knows a lot about the game, so he does give me recommendations. And yeah, now let's get into the tier list very, very quickly. And the characters in P, I'm not going to talk about them. They're all very bad. Their normal skills are impossible to land, so that's that. For characters in B, they're very, very slow. For Mihawk, I could buff him up to C because he has such weird timing that you might dodge too early and get hit by them. But yeah, Kid, Nami had some usage, so I'm going to place her a bit higher because she had some usage with Rumble medals and stuff. It's a pretty interesting build, but not that good. All these characters, when I tried them or I saw others try them, they're just so slow, or I hate them. Like this time skip Sanji, I had the worst experience using him amongst all the Straw Hats. Now, if you think he should be in B, that's completely fine. Now in B, we have Sanji. He's nice for the heals. You can, follow a character you think is good and just heal them. And his damage, ignores defense, which is cool. Robin's Tremor, she has some good matchups. She has some nice damage reduction. She has some healing. So she's pretty decent. Lucci, very nice, but, the multi-hit could work against him sometimes. Chopper's range is very nice. Gear 4 has some good Tremor, and his skills and normals, or his dodge and normals look very similar, so you can bait out stuff. Smoke Shigi, unfortunately, not that great, but she has some cool stuff against Devil Fruits, and she can increase your cooldown, which is, I think, the first character to do it. Garp and Robin did it after. Drake is very good for challenge battles, but in League, his dinosaur is pretty easy to dodge, and the fixed damage isn't too high. Still a decent unit. Bullet, I've used him recently. Pretty cool. The Tremor, the heals, the damage is very nice. Timeskip Luffy, again, he has invincibility with his skill. His normals are still somewhat decent, I guess. And all in all, pretty decent unit. Sabo as well, his damage is pretty good. His walls are nice. He's a flame. His crit when teammates die, very good. Zoro's range is decent. His damage can be decent as well. Junpei is good against Devil Fruit. And Cavendish got a buff, so I could buff him up to A. With the buff, I think he gets some heals, so that's what makes him solid. Now for the good characters, right? These are good. We have Buggy. Buggy's good, but not the best, right? He has range, which is nice. His normals are decent. He can have heals. He can have an attack buff. He can be a good support. Smoker can... the cool thing about Smoker is that he can suck defenders off the treasure, which is very good for a lot of defenders rely on being on your flag. So having that is very, very nice. and he can help against Odin's, for example, suck them off and stuff. So pretty cool. Katakuri, I personally never gone to use him, but his damage is decent, his normals are decent, his skills got buffed like last time there was a buff, so he's a bit faster, so that's pretty cool. Koala, I like her a lot, right? She has this confused area if she gets a perfect dodge, and her knockback is very good. She has a tremor. I mean, she's not the best, but with the buff she recently received, and all in all, she wasn't the worst, and she's not the best, but she's still a good character. Kaido, for me personally, I suck using this guy, but I know some people have success with him. His damage, his attack, and his defense can be very high, and he can be a pain in the ass, but of course not as much as he used to be. Kuzan freeze is very good, but Kuzan also, it's not just his freeze, right? The range, his normals are pretty decent. You can have a great amount of fun. Luffy Tower is great against defenders. Moria is decent. I feel like definitely underrated, but his skills, like especially the one where it has to land, can be bad because if you don't land it, you're just stuck in a free animation that you can't move and stuff. But he has good damage, he has good heals and stuff, which is very nice. Kiku's so strong in the last 60 seconds. Her cooldown on her skills and her damage is very high. Dogstorm, very good. Now the cool thing about Dogstorm is that he has skill where whenever he uses his skill 1, he gets an attack buff, but when he dies, that attack buff transfers over to the second character. So I think as a character on his own, he's pretty decent, but the fact that you can transfer his stuff to the second unit is also very good. Imagine using him with Roger, you die, you give Roger more attacks. So it's pretty cool. And if someone doesn't have an attack increase, you can give them attack increase, like Zoro, right? Zoro only has increased damage, so this is very good. Boa, her tremor, her heals, her skills are good, but she has a lot of counters. This Chopper is actually super solid. I might buff him above Sabo, but Sabo is okay. So Sabo's flame is good, and he nullifies status effects, which is very good. But again, his damage isn't as great as it used to be. But all in all, his normals are nice, his skills are nice, his traits are nice. That crit is very good. Chopper, he ignores defense, ignores damage reduction, which can make him insanely good against a lot of defenders. Unfortunately, he's not in the best place in the meta. I might move him up here. It depends on what you're facing, but against a lot of the red defenders that are top tier, he can have a good shot at dealing with them. Rayleigh, when he perfect dodge, he's insane. His damage becomes really good. But otherwise, he's okay. He's not bad. He's one of the greats, right? So I think starting Boa or Sabo, these characters are all great. If you want to move them to S, I don't think they're S, but they're definitely close. Whitebeard, I think Whitebeard is a very solid character. I know a lot of people don't like him. They think he should have been an EX and whatever. I personally, I love Whitebeard. I'm happy I get to use him because he's not an EX, and his tremor is good. His attacks are fine. He can tremor in the third hit. His skill damage is pretty decent. And he has attack buffs and stuff that are hard to proc, but all in all, I think he's a very solid choice. Now, let's go over and place Roger in SS. He's so broken. His skill 1 gives him attack buffs. He heals very easily. Whenever he receives a certain amount of damage, he heals back, and sometimes he heals more than the damage you deal. His skill 2 has insane range. His skill 1 has insane range. His attack buffs are insane. His damage is insane. He has good heals. He gives himself attack. Everything you want in an attacker, this guy has. So, yeah. Now, let's place Lucci. First of all, let me shout out, now that we're finally going to talk about the S tier characters, shout out to Yo. CP0 Lucci, a very strong character, right? He has damage reduction, he has good heals, he has knockback, he can play like a runner. He's very strong as a damage dealer because he gets attack buffs. Very solid choice. Next, we have Pell. Now, I think Pell is very underrated because being Pell, he's not one of the hypest characters, but his damage can be insane. He has heals on both his skills. He gets good damage. He gets good attack increase, but also damage increase, and he has like surprisingly a lot of damage. Even like his only problem is, of course, greens get to destroy him, and when I say greens, I mean Roger, but his damage is just so high that you will have a lot of success using him even today. Like, I mean, he's new, but he's so strong. I really like him, and I can't wait to see more Pell when people pull him, because of course a lot of people skipped his banner, but in the future more and more people will get him from reruns and just because time passes. Now Shanks withstood the test of time, right? It's been over a year and a half, or almost a year and a half since he came out, and he's still very strong, right? His counters, his attack buffs. The problem with Shanks is that I feel like he's here, but if you get rolling with him, you get a couple counters off, you get a couple of your attack buffs, then he's here, right? Because he becomes super super strong. In my opinion, I like Pell more than Shanks, but you know, Shanks is still very solid for most people. He has a good range on his attacks. Obviously, it's easy to dodge if you know it's coming, but if he baits out your dodge, he has very insane range, and he can do stuff that are super annoying. He has good heals, good attack buff. Everything about Shanks is very solid. He has even defense, good cooldown, and all that good stuff. Next, we have Luffy Law. Now, Luffy Law on his own might be here, but he has anti-heal, which is so good. Most characters in today's meta rely on healing, whether defender or attacker or even runner. So the anti-heal is so rare, but so good. He has another skill that's very good against defenders because it can displace them, move them out of their treasure area where they would lose a lot of damage reduction. Just make sure you never use your Aflame skill after your anti-heal, because the Aflame will remove the anti-heal. So make sure you don't do that. And all in all, fantastic unit. He has good crits when you KO an enemy. And all in all, very, very solid, good damage and everything else. But the anti-heal is what carries him. Next, we have Zoro and Oni Law. Finally, these two definitely deserve to be the top two. And Zoro, he has good crit, he has good damage reduction, he has insane heals and good damage increase. Both his skills are fantastic to use. One of them has insane range. Now, it can be hit, it's stopped by all the barrels and stuff, but it doesn't ruin the fact that he's so good. And Oni Law, same thing. He has nice damage reduction in his circle area, room, whatever. He doesn't get one shot. He has AoE normals in that room. He stuns. He has a lot of damage increase as well, like this guy. But this guy heals more and has more crits. But Law, still very, very good. But the thing that makes Law, in my opinion, better is the fact that he has anti-heal. And also, he deals more damage and he, like gets a lot of buffs from attacking greens. Cooldown, I mean. So he gets a lot of cooldown by attacking greens and a lot of damage increase. So he's, I think, better against Roger. Zoro sometimes will, you know, get destroyed by Roger, whereas Lucci can definitely deal with Roger, in my opinion, a bit better. Same for Odin's, but you know, Zoro is good against Odin's as well. But Roger, against Roger, I think Oni Law is better, and he has good everything. And the anti-heal is so good. Like him and Luffy Law are the only ones with anti-heal in the game at the moment, and that just makes him insanely valuable. So yeah, that's that for this tier list, guys. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this wasn't too long, and I was able to not waste your time. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you would change, and peace.